They don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves. Self-pity is easily the most destructive of the non-pharmaceutical narcotics. It is addictive, gives momentary pleasure and separates the victim from reality. John Gardner. During the weeks that followed Jack's accident, his mother couldn't stop talking about the horrible incident. Every day she recounted the story about how both of Jack's legs were broken when he was hit by a school bus. She felt guilty that she wasn't there to protect him, and seeing him in a wheelchair for several weeks was almost more than she could bear. Although doctors had predicted a complete recovery, she repeatedly warned Jack that his legs may never fully heal. She wanted him to be aware that he may not be able to play soccer or run around like the other kids ever again, just in case there was a problem. Although his doctors had medically cleared him to return to school, his parents decided that Jack's mother would quit her job and homeschool him for the remainder of the year. They felt that seeing and hearing school buses each day might trigger too many bad memories. They also wanted to spare him from having to watch idly from his wheelchair as his friends played at recess. They hoped that staying home would help Jack heal faster, both emotionally and physically. Jack usually completed his homeschool work in the mornings and he spent his afternoons and evenings watching TV and playing video games. Within a few weeks, his parents noticed that his mood seemed to change. A normally upbeat and happy child, Jack became irritable and sad. His parents grew concerned that the accident may have traumatized him even more than they'd imagined. They pursued therapy in hopes it could help Jack deal with his emotional scars. Jack's parents took him to a well-known therapist with expertise in childhood trauma. The therapist had received the referral from Jack's pediatrician, so she knew a little bit about Jack's experience prior to meeting him. When Jack's mother wheeled him into the therapist's office, Jack stared silently at the floor. His mother began by saying, "We're having such a hard time since this terrible accident. It's really ruined our lives and caused a lot of emotional problems for Jack. He's just not the same little boy." To his mother's surprise, the therapist didn't respond with sympathy. Instead, she enthusiastically said, "Boy, have I been looking forward to meeting you, Jack. I've never met a kid who could beat a school bus. You have to tell me, how did you manage to get into a fight with a school bus and win?" For the first time since the accident, Jack smiled. Over the next few weeks, Jack worked with his therapist on making his own book. He appropriately named it, How to Beat a School Bus. He created a wonderful story about how he managed to fight a school bus and escape with only a few broken bones. He embellished on the story by describing how he grabbed hold of the muffler, swung himself around, and protected the majority of his body from getting hit by the bus. Despite the exaggerated details, the main part of the story remained the same: he survived because he's a tough kid. Jack concluded his book with a self-portrait. He drew himself sitting in a wheelchair wearing a superhero cape. The therapist included Jack's parents in the treatment. She helped them see how fortunate they were that Jack survived with only a few broken bones. She encouraged his parents to stop feeling sorry for Jack. She recommended they treat him like a mentally and physically tough kid who was capable of overcoming great adversity. Even if his legs didn't heal properly, she wanted them to focus on what Jack could still accomplish in life, not what the accident would prevent him from being able to do. The therapist and Jack's parents worked with the school faculty and staff to prepare for Jack's return to school. In addition to the special accommodations he'd need because he was still in a wheelchair, they wanted to ensure that the other students and teachers didn't pity Jack. They arranged for Jack to share his book with his classmates so that he could tell them how he beat the school bus and show them that there was no reason to feel sorry for him.